This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. The information provided does not constitute professional marketing, legal, financial, or business advice. Any results discussed represent historical trends or specific case studies and are not indicative of future performance for every user. Success in email marketing is dependent on various factors including content quality, audience engagement, and market conditions. Viewers are strongly encouraged to conduct their own due diligence and consult with qualified professionals before implementing new business strategies or committing to software subscriptions. Every single time you gain a new follower, every time a new lead signs up for your newsletter, and every time your business actually succeeds, you are being taxed. In the world of digital marketing, there is a hidden silent growth tax that most beginners do not realize they are paying until it is far too late. Imagine you are building a house. As you add more rooms and more family members move in, the bank suddenly decides to double your mortgage every month simply because you are using the house more. That sounds absurd, right? Yet, this is the exact business model of nearly every major email marketing platform on the planet. Whether it is MailChimp, ConvertKit, or ActiveCampaign, they operate on a tiered pricing structure that punishes you for being good at your job. The moment you cross that 1,000 subscriber mark, your bill goes up. When you hit 5,000, it doubles again. By the time you reach 10,000 followers, you are effectively paying a monthly ransom just to keep access to the audience you worked years to build. This is the success tax, and it is the #1 reason why small businesses and independent creators fail to scale their digital presence in the United States today. But what if the entire architecture of how we talk to our customers was fundamentally broken? What if the reason your open rates are plummeting and your emails look like they were designed in a basement in 1998 is not because you lack talent, but because your tools were built for corporate IT departments rather than creative entrepreneurs? Today, we are opening the door to a different way of thinking. We are embarking on a 10-part deep dive masterclass into Flodesk, a platform that has completely disrupted the industry by doing the unthinkable, charging one flat rate regardless of how large your list grows. We are going to peel back the curtain on why this shift matters more than just saving a few dollars a month. This is about the democratization of high-end design and the removal of the technical barriers that have kept brilliant people from sharing their message with the world. To understand why this walkthrough is essential for your business today, we have to look at the historical trends of the digital landscape. For the last decade, we have been told that social media is the king of marketing. We were told to build our houses on the rented land of Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. However, the reality of 2026 is that the algorithm is a fickle landlord. Organic reach is at an all-time low, and if you do not own your audience data, you do not own a business. You own a hobby that is subject to the whims of a Silicon Valley boardroom. Email marketing remains the only channel where you have a direct, unfiltered line to your customer's inbox. Historical data consistently shows that email marketing has an average return on investment of $42 for every single dollar spent. Yet, most beginners are paralyzed by the complexity of the tools available. They see rows of code, confusing automation logic, and clunky user interfaces that feel more like a spreadsheet than a creative canvas. This masterclass is designed to solve that paralysis. Over the next 10 segments, we are going to move from a state of overwhelmed confusion to total mastery. We are going to address the specific problem of the aesthetic gap. Look at the emails in your own promotions tab right now. Most of them are cluttered, text-heavy, and frankly quite ugly. In a world where visual branding is the primary currency of trust, sending an ugly email is the fastest way to lose a potential client. We are going to explore how Flodesk uses a layout-based design system to ensure that your emails look like professional digital magazines rather than generic junk mail. This is not just about vanity, it is about psychological conversion. When a lead opens an email that is beautiful, balanced, and easy to read, their perception of the brand's value increases instantly. We will look at case studies of creators who saw their click-through rates increase by over 30% simply by switching from a traditional text-based builder to a design-forward layout. We are also going to tackle the myth that you need to be a tech genius to build a complex sales funnel. One of the biggest hurdles for beginners in the US market is the term automation. Sounds intimidating. It sounds like you need to know how to write scripts or manage databases. In reality, automation is just a series of if-then statements that work while you sleep. We are going to break down how to build your first workflow step by step, ensuring that when someone joins your list at 3 o'clock in the morning, they receive a beautiful welcome sequence that introduces them to your brand without you ever having to lift a finger. We are going to look at the potential outcomes of having a robust lead magnet system that works in the background, allowing you to focus on your craft rather than manual data entry. Furthermore, we must discuss the financial implications of your tech stack. As a beginner, every dollar counts. Many entrepreneurs start with a free plan on a platform like MailChimp, thinking they are saving money. But historical trends show that these free plans often hide the most essential features, like advanced automation or the ability to remove third-party branding, behind a paywall that scales aggressively. We will do a deep dive comparison of the long-term costs of various platforms. For instance, if you have a list of 25,000 subscribers, a traditional platform might charge you upwards of $250 per month. Flodesk stays at the same price you started with. Over a 5-year period, that cost difference can represent tens of thousands of dollars in profit that stays in your pocket rather than going to a software company. This is the financial foundation we are building today. Throughout this walkthrough, we are going to focus on the 4 pillars of email marketing success: deliverability, design, data, and direction. Deliverability is the science of making sure your email actually lands in the inbox and not the spam folder. We will discuss the technical requirements like authenticated domains and clean list practices in a way that is easy to understand. Design is the art of capturing attention in a crowded digital space. Data is the practice of looking at your analytics to see what is actually working, and direction is the strategy of moving a subscriber from a casual reader to a loyal customer. By the end of this first part, you will understand that email marketing is not a chore to be checked off a list. It is the most powerful asset in your business toolkit. If you have been sitting on the sidelines because you are afraid of the tech, afraid of the cost, or afraid that you aren't a designer, those fears end here. We are going to take a high-stakes look at what happens to businesses that ignore their email list versus those that nurture it, and we are going to give you the exact roadmap to join the latter group. This is the beginning of your journey toward a more professional, more profitable, and more beautiful digital presence. Let us get into the mechanics of the platform and start building your empire. To start building your empire, we have to look at the first point of contact you have with this ecosystem, which is the setup and the pricing philosophy that differentiates this platform from every other competitor in the United States market today. Imagine a creator named Sarah. It is early 2026, and Sarah has spent the last 3 years building a boutique floral arrangement business in Austin, Texas. She has a growing list of 5,000 people who have signed up for her gardening tips. On a traditional platform, Sarah is currently being hit with a monthly bill of nearly $100. Every time she runs a successful workshop and adds another 500 people to her list, her software provider sends her an automated email congratulating her on her growth, and then immediately informing her that her monthly subscription price has increased. This is the success tax we discussed, and for a small business owner like Sarah, it creates a psychological ceiling. She becomes afraid to grow because growth equals higher overhead. Historical trends in the software as a service industry show that by 2026, most platforms have moved toward microtransactions and tiered features, where you have to pay more just to unlock basic things like countdown timers or advanced segmentation. Flodesk operates on a different logic. When you first log in, you are greeted with a dashboard that is intentionally sparse. This is not because it lacks power, but because it is designed to minimize the cognitive load that leads to builder burnout. The first step in this walkthrough is understanding the account settings and the brand kit, because this is where the potential outcomes for your business are truly decided. If you do not set your foundation correctly, even the most beautiful email will fail to deliver or fail to convert. When you click on your profile in the top right corner and navigate to the account area, the first thing you must address is your domain setup. In 2026, the major email service providers like Google and Yahoo have implemented much stricter protocols for what they consider legitimate mail. If you are sending from a generic Gmail or Yahoo address, historical trends suggest your emails are 30% more likely to land in the spam folder or the promotions tab. You must have a custom domain, such as yourname.com, to be taken seriously by the modern inbox filters. Flodesk makes this step surprisingly simple by walking you through the DKIM and SPF record updates. These are the digital signatures that tell the world you are who you say you are. This step is non-negotiable for anyone looking to build a professional brand. You are essentially registering your digital business license with the internet. Once your domain is authenticated, we move into the brand kit. This is the engine room of your visual identity. In the United States, consumers are bombarded with thousands of marketing messages every day. To cut through that noise, your brand needs a consistent visual vocabulary. In the brand kit, you are going to upload your primary logo, set your brand colors using hex codes, and choose your default fonts. Imagine if every time you went to a Starbucks, the logo was a slightly different shade of green or the font on the menu changed. You would feel a subtle sense of unease and a lack of trust. The same applies to your email marketing. By locking in your hex codes, for example, a specific shade of desert sage or a crisp navy blue, every single template you use in the future will automatically pull these colors in. This saves you hours of manual editing and ensures that every touchpoint a customer has with your brand feels intentional and professional. We also need to talk about the physical address requirement, which is a point of confusion for many beginners. Per the CAN-SPAM Act in the United States, you are legally required to include a valid physical postal address in every marketing email you send. Many creators who work from home feel hesitant about this. However, historical trends show that using a P.O. box or a virtual mailbox is a standard practice for privacy. In this part of the setup, you will enter that address, and Flodesk will automatically append it to the footer of every email you create. This is not just a legal hurdle, it is a trust signal. When a subscriber sees a physical location, it grounds your digital business in the real world. Now, let us look at the potential outcomes of the flat rate pricing model. Historically, email platforms have focused on the size of your list. Flodesk focuses on the volume of your ambition. Whether you have 10 subscribers or 100,000, the price remains consistent, typically around $38 a month, or even less if you use a referral link. For a business like Sarah's in Austin, this means she can project her expenses for the next 3 years with total accuracy. If her list explodes due to a viral video, she does not have to worry about a sudden $300 charge hitting her credit card. This financial predictability is a massive advantage for American small businesses operating in a volatile economy. It allows you to reinvest those saved hundreds of dollars back into your product development or paid advertising, creating a compounding effect on your growth. Case studies of high-growth brands in the 2020s have shown that those who prioritize list health over list size often see better conversion rates. Because you are not being charged per subscriber, you are not punished for keeping unengaged people on your list, though we will talk about why you should still clean it later. More importantly, you are not afraid to lead gen aggressively. You can create 20 different opt-in forms for 20 different niches within your audience, and you won't be charged extra for the data storage of those leads. The dashboard itself is divided into 4 main pillars: emails, forms, workflows, and audience. This part of the walkthrough focuses on the strategic overview of these pillars. The audience tab is where your data lives. It is more than just a list of names. It is a database of behaviors. You can see who is opening what, who is clicking where, and most importantly, how they entered your world. If you see that most of your high-paying clients are coming from a specific PDF guide you offered 6 months ago, that is a data point that dictates your future content strategy. As you move through this initial setup, you will realize that the platform is nudging you away from the cluttered, data-heavy interfaces of the past and toward a more streamlined, aesthetic approach. This is a deliberate choice. The goal is to get you from an idea to a sent email in less than 20 minutes, rather than spending 4 hours fighting with a clunky drag-and-drop editor that refuses to align your images correctly. This efficiency is the hidden weapon of the modern entrepreneur. But here is where things get interesting. You have your domain set up, your brand colors are locked in, and your legal address is in place. You are ready to create. But if you walk into a beautiful kitchen and don't know how to cook, you are still going to go hungry. The most common mistake beginners make at this stage is staring at a blank screen and not knowing how to structure their first message to ensure it actually gets read. If your first email doesn't capture attention in the first 2 seconds, all of this setup was for nothing. The real magic happens when we move from the settings into the creative suite. How do you actually design an email that looks like a high-end magazine without having a degree in graphic design? How do you use the layouts feature to create something that looks custom-coded but was actually made in seconds? In the next part, we are going to dive deep into the template library and the proprietary layout system that changed the industry forever. We are going to look at the specific psychological triggers that make people click, and why the standard email layouts you have been using are actually hurting your sales. Are you ready to see how a single design choice can double your click-through rate? Let us move on to the visual architecture of your brand. To understand the visual architecture of your brand, we have to look at the primary interface where your ideas turn into reality: the Flodesk template gallery. For most of the last 2 decades, email marketing design was a battle between what you wanted to see and what the coding language of an inbox would actually allow. If you wanted a beautiful overlapping image or a specific luxury font, you typically had to hire a developer to write custom HTML and CSS, And even then, historical trends showed that those custom emails would often break the moment they were opened on an Android device or a specific version of Outlook. This created a massive design gap where only the largest corporations with dedicated design teams could send emails that looked like high-end digital magazines. In 2026, that gap has been completely closed by the proprietary layout system we are about to explore. Imagine an entrepreneur named Michael. Michael is a high-performance executive coach based in Chicago. He has spent years refining his methodology, but for the longest time, his email newsletters looked like a wall of gray text on a white background. He was using a traditional provider that prioritized deliverability over design, but because his emails looked so uninspiring, his open rates were stagnant and his click-through rates were hovering around 1%. Michael felt that his digital presence did not reflect the premium nature of his $5,000 coaching packages. When he switched to Flodesk, he didn't just change his software, he changed his brand's perceived value. By using the design-forward approach we are walking through now, Michael saw a potential outcome where his engagement rates tripled within 90 days because his audience finally felt like they were consuming a premium product every time his name appeared in their inbox. When you click on the Emails tab and select Create New, you are not just met with a blank page. You are met with a curated library of templates organized by objective. This is where your strategic direction begins. Are you trying to welcome a new subscriber? Are you trying to sell a digital course? Are you sharing a weekly roundup of thoughts? Each of these goals requires a different visual hierarchy. For example, a sales email needs a clear, singular call to action, while a newsletter might need multiple sections with varying levels of visual weight. Once you select a template, you enter the editor, and this is where the Layouts feature becomes your most powerful tool. Unlike traditional email builders that use a block-based system where you stack one element on top of another like a child's building blocks, Flodesk uses a layout-based system. When you click the plus sign between any two blocks, you are given the option to add a layout. These are pre-designed arrangements of images, text, and graphics that are treated as a single cohesive unit. Historically, if you wanted to have a beautiful serif font overlapping a high-resolution photograph of your product, you would have to create that image in Photoshop, upload it, and then hope it didn't look blurry on a high-density Retina display. In Flodesk, you simply choose an overlap layout, upload your photo, and type your text directly into the editor. The technical brilliance of this system is that it renders these layouts as high-quality images with perfectly scaled text, ensuring that every single subscriber sees exactly what you designed, regardless of whether they are using a desktop computer from 2020 or the latest mobile device of 2026. This is a massive shift in how we think about accessibility and design. We are moving away from the era of boring system fonts like Arial and Times New Roman and into an era where your brand's unique typography can shine. In the sidebar, you have granular control over letter spacing, line height, and font weight. These might seem like small details, but in the United States market, where aesthetic polish is often equated with professional competence, these details are the difference between a lead trusting you or hitting the unsubscribe button. Let us look at the step-by-step process of customizing a layout. First, you will select the layout block on your canvas. On the right-hand side, a menu will appear with 3 tabs: Layout, Block, and Font. In the Layout tab, you can actually swap the entire arrangement of that block without losing your content. If you decide that the text should be on the left instead of the right, it is a single click. In the Block tab, you control the background colors and the padding. Padding is the invisible space around your content, and this is where most beginners fail. They try to cram as much information as possible into a small space. Historical trends in high-conversion design show that white space is a luxury. It gives the reader's eye a place to rest and directs their attention to what truly matters: your message and your call to action. Next, we look at image integration. In 2026, your audience expects high-speed, high-resolution visuals. Flodesk integrates directly with platforms like Unsplash, allowing you to pull in professional photography if you don't have your own. But more importantly, it allows for easy editing of your own uploads. You can crop, adjust brightness, and apply filters within the platform. A key detail that many skip is the alt text field. This is the text that appears if an image fails to load, or if a visually impaired subscriber is using a screen reader. From a data perspective, providing clear alt text can also help with the overall health of your deliverability, as it signals to inbox filters that you are providing a high-quality, accessible experience for all users. Now, consider the call to action or the button. This is the bridge between your email and your business. In the Flodesk editor, buttons are not just an afterthought. You can customize the border radius to make them perfectly square for a modern, architectural look, or fully rounded for a friendlier, more approachable vibe. You can adjust the width to be full page or fit to text. But the real secret to a high-performing button is the link strategy. In this walkthrough, we are going to ensure that every button you create is tagged correctly so you can see exactly which parts of your design are driving traffic. As you are designing, you must constantly keep the mobile experience in mind. Over 70% of digital consumers in the United States check their email on their smartphones first thing in the morning. Flodesk provides a mobile preview toggle that allows you to see exactly how your layouts will stack. Unlike other platforms where images might shrink to an unreadable size, Flodesk's responsive engine ensures that the text remains legible and the images remain impactful. This attention to the mobile-first landscape of 2026 is what makes this masterclass essential for anyone looking to scale. We have now built a visual masterpiece. We have used Michael's example to show how a coach can elevate his brand, and we have navigated the technical settings of the layout system. But here is the problem that most people ignore. You can have the most beautiful email in the world, but if your subject line is weak, nobody will ever see it. And even if they do see it, if you don't have a system to capture their information in the first place, you are just shouting into a void. The bridge between your audience and your beautiful emails is the form. How do you create a gateway that makes people excited to give you their email address? How do you ensure that your lead magnet actually lands in their hands the second they sign up? This is where we move from design into the world of conversion mechanics. In the next part, we are going to dive into the audience and forms section. We are going to look at the 3 types of forms every business needs and the psychological triggers that make a stranger become a subscriber. Are you ready to start growing your list with intention? Let us look at how to build your digital storefront. To build your digital storefront, we have to look at the first moment a stranger decides to become a subscriber. This transition happens through a form. In the digital economy of 2026, your form is not just a box for an email address. It is your digital handshake, your first impression, and your most critical conversion tool. Imagine a freelance photographer in Portland named David. David has an incredible portfolio of urban landscapes and high-end architectural shots. He has a decent following on social media, but he noticed a troubling historical trend. Despite having thousands of profile visits, his actual client inquiries remained low. He realized that people were consuming his content and then disappearing forever. He was essentially a museum that people walked through for free without ever leaving their contact information. David needed a way to capture that interest and turn it into a long-term relationship. In this walkthrough, we are going to look at the 3 specific types of forms Flodesk offers, and how each serves a different psychological purpose in your marketing funnel. The 3 types are pop-ups, inline forms, and full-page forms. Understanding which one to use and when is the difference between a high-converting lead machine and a digital nuisance that drives people away from your site. Let us start with the full-page form because for many beginners in the United States, this is the most powerful tool in the entire platform. A full-page form is essentially a standalone landing page. Imagine if you do not have a website yet. Perhaps you are an author, a consultant, or a local artisan who primarily operates through word of mouth and social media. Historically, you would have to pay for a separate landing page builder like Leadpages or Instapage, which can cost upwards of $50 a month. Flodesk includes these high-converting landing pages for free as part of your flat-rate subscription. When you select a full-page form, you are creating a dedicated destination where there are 0 distractions. There are no navigation menus, no sidebars, and no other links to click. There is only your offer and the sign-up box. Case studies of successful lead generation in 2026 show that these minimalist, focused pages often have a significantly higher conversion rate than traditional websites. For David, the photographer, he created a full-page form titled the Urban Composition Masterclass. He offered a free PDF guide on how to take better photos with a smartphone. Because the page was beautiful and focused entirely on that one value proposition, his conversion rate jumped from nearly 0 to 15% of all visitors who clicked the link in his social media bio. To set this up, you simply choose the full page option in the Forms tab, select a template that matches your brand aesthetic, and then customize the text. You will notice that Flodesk gives you a unique URL for this page. You can take this link and put it in your Instagram bio, your LinkedIn profile, or even on a physical business card via QR code. This is your digital storefront that is open 24 hours a day. Next, we have the inline form. This is the subtle, sophisticated cousin of the landing page. An inline form is designed to be embedded directly into the content of an existing website or blog. Imagine you are reading a long-form article about the best gardening tools for 2026. About halfway through the article, there is a beautifully designed box that says, "Join our weekly newsletter for more gardening tips." This is an inline form. It does not interrupt the user experience. It enhances it. It meets the reader where they already are. To implement this, Flodesk provides a small snippet of code. Do not let the word code intimidate you. It is a simple copy and paste job. You take the code from Flodesk and paste it into the HTML block of your website provider, whether that is Squarespace, Wix, or WordPress. The potential outcome of using inline forms is a slow but steady growth of highly qualified leads who are already engaged with your long-form content. The third type is the pop-up. This is the most controversial but often the most effective tool in your kit. Historical trends in digital marketing consistently show that while users often say they dislike pop-ups, they are still the most likely way to get someone to subscribe. The key in 2026 is to use them with intelligence and empathy. Flodesk allows you to set specific triggers for your pop-ups. You can choose to show it as soon as someone arrives, after they have scrolled 10% down the page, or when they are about to leave, known as exit intent. For a brand like David's, an exit intent pop-up is a last-ditch effort to save a lost lead. Just as someone is about to close the tab, a beautiful window appears offering them a 10% discount on their first print order. It is a low-friction way to turn a bounce into a subscriber. Now we must discuss the most important back-end feature of your forms: segments. When you create a form, Flodesk will ask you which segment should these subscribers go into. This is the foundation of organized marketing. Imagine if David put every single person who signed up into one giant bucket. If he then sent an email about a wedding photography sale to people who only signed up for his urban architecture guide, he would see a massive spike in unsubscribes. Segments allow you to categorize your audience based on their interests and where they entered your world. You might have a segment for PDF downloads, a segment for newsletter signups, and a segment for past customers. In this walkthrough, the step-by-step detail you need to remember is to always create a new segment before you create a new form. This ensures that your data remains clean from day one. As you design your form, you will see the same brand kit integration we discussed in the previous part. Your brand colors and fonts are already there. But there is a psychological element to form design that we must address. In the United States, the average attention span for a digital ad is less than 3 seconds. This means your form needs to have a headline that makes a clear, immediate promise. Instead of saying "sign up for my newsletter," which is a boring and vague request, you should say "get the 5-minute guide to better lighting." You are offering a specific solution to a specific problem. Furthermore, you should be mindful of the number of fields you require. Historical data shows that every additional field you add to a form, like asking for a phone number or a job title, can decrease your conversion rate by as much as 10%. For most beginners, asking for just the first name and email address is the optimal balance between gathering data and ensuring a high sign-up rate. Having the first name allows you to use personalization tags in your future emails, making your messages feel more like a one-on-one conversation and less like a mass broadcast. Once someone fills out your form, they see the success message. This is often an overlooked part of the walkthrough. Most people leave it at the default "thank you for subscribing." But in 2026, every touchpoint is a branding opportunity. You can customize this message to say something like, "Check your inbox. Your guide is on its way," or even redirect them to a specific page on your website. This is the moment where the trust is highest. They have just given you their digital identity, and you have a brief window to confirm they made the right choice. However, building the form is only half the battle. You can have 1,000 people sign up, but if they never hear from you again, or if they have to wait 3 days for that PDF guide you promised, they will forget who you are. This is the point where most beginners fail. They manually try to email every new subscriber, which is impossible to scale. Or worse, they have no system in place to deliver the value they offered. How do you make sure that the second someone hits that subscribe button, the heavens open and your best content lands in their lap automatically? How do you build a sequence of emails that nurtures a total stranger into a raving fan without you ever having to press send? This is the world of workflows, and it is where we move from being a manual laborer in your business to being a true architect of automation. In the next part, we are going to break down the anatomy of a perfect welcome sequence. We will look at the timing, the triggers, and the specific psychological hooks that turn a lead into a customer. Are you ready to put your business on autopilot? Let us dive into the logic of the workflow. To understand the logic of the workflow, we have to recognize that in the fast-paced digital economy of 2026, time is the only resource you cannot buy back. A workflow is not just a sequence of emails. It is a digital employee that works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without ever taking a vacation or asking for a raise. In the United States, where the modern consumer expects immediate gratification, the speed at which you respond to a new lead is directly correlated with your conversion rate. Historical trends in the marketing sector suggest that if you do not deliver your promised lead magnet within the first 5 minutes of a sign-up, your engagement rate can drop by as much as 50%. This is why mastering the workflow tab in Flodesk is the most critical step for any beginner who wants to scale their business without burning out. Imagine a wellness coach named Emily based in Nashville. It is 2026, and Emily has just launched a new digital guide called the 7-Day Energy Reset. She has a full schedule of one-on-one clients and simply does not have the capacity to manually check her inbox every time someone new joins her list. Without automation, Emily is a bottleneck in her own business. With a Flodesk workflow, Emily creates a seamless journey that begins the very millisecond a potential client hits the subscribe button on her form. This is the power of a trigger-based system. In this walkthrough, we are going to build Emily's welcome sequence step by step to show you how to structure your own. The first thing you see when you enter the Workflows tab is the option to create new. Flodesk offers several goal-based templates, such as a welcome sequence, a sales sequence, or a nurture sequence. For this deep dive, we are going to start with a blank workflow to understand the core mechanics. Every workflow begins with a trigger. In Flodesk, the most common trigger is a subscriber is added to a segment. This links back to what we discussed in the previous part. When David's photography lead or Emily's wellness lead joins a specific segment via a form, the workflow engine recognizes that event and springs into action. Once the trigger is set, your first step is usually an action, specifically the send email action. This is email number 1, also known as the delivery email. In Emily's case, this email is short, punchy, and provides a clear link to download her energy reset guide. Historical data on welcome emails shows they have the highest open rates of any marketing communication, often exceeding 80%. Because of this high visibility, Emily uses this space not just to deliver the file, but to set the tone for her brand. She uses a beautiful layout with a personal photo and a brief note about what the subscriber can expect from her in the coming days. The step-by-step detail here is crucial. You must ensure the link to your file is hosted either directly in the Flodesk email using the file attachment feature or via a reliable cloud link. If the link is broken, the trust you have just built evaporates instantly. After the initial delivery, we introduce the concept of the time delay. This is where many beginners make the mistake of being too aggressive. Imagine if a salesperson followed you around a store for 3 hours straight after you just walked in to look at one shirt. You would leave. The same applies to inboxes. In our 2026 walkthrough, we recommend a delay of at least 24 hours before the second email. In the Flodesk Workflow Builder, you simply click the plus icon and select time delay. You can set this for a specific number of days, hours, or even minutes. For Emily, a 1-day delay allows the subscriber time to actually look at the guide she sent. Email number 2 in the sequence is the value add or the why email. Instead of trying to sell her coaching services immediately, Emily uses this email to share a personal story about why she became a wellness coach. She might share a historical trend in her own life, such as how she overcame chronic fatigue. This builds relatability and authority. By the time this email hits the inbox, the subscriber has already received value from the free guide and is now beginning to understand the human being behind the brand. Now, let us look at the most advanced feature of the Flodesk workflow: the condition. This is the if-then logic that separates professional marketers from amateurs. Imagine if Emily wants to know who is actually interested in her high-end coaching versus who just wants free recipes. She can add a condition step that asks the system, did the subscriber click the link in the previous email? If the answer is yes, the workflow branches to the right, and Emily can send them a more targeted email about her coaching program. If the answer is no, the workflow branches to the left, and she might send a follow-up email asking if they had trouble opening the file. This level of personalization is how potential outcomes are maximized. You are not just shouting at a crowd. You are having a tailored conversation with every single person on your list. As we move to email number 3, typically sent 2 to 3 days later, we focus on social proof and case studies. In the United States market, consumers are naturally skeptical of claims made by the business itself. They want to know what other people think. Emily includes a layout featuring testimonials from past clients who saw significant energy improvements after working with her. This is not about bragging. It is about reducing the perceived risk for the new subscriber. By showing real-world results from 2025 and 2026, she is moving the lead closer to a buying decision. Finally, we reach the conclusion of the initial welcome sequence with the soft sell. This email, sent around day 5 or 6, provides a clear invitation to take the next step, whether that is booking a consultation, purchasing a product, or joining a membership. Because Emily has spent the last week providing value, sharing her story, and proving her results, this request feels like a natural progression rather than a cold pitch. A critical step in finalizing your workflow is the workflow settings. You must decide if a subscriber can enter the workflow more than once. For a welcome sequence, the answer is usually no. You don't want someone to receive the same 5 introduction emails every time they sign up for a new tip on your site. Flodesk makes this toggle very easy to find in the right-hand sidebar. Once you are satisfied with the structure, you hit Publish. But even a perfectly automated workflow is only as good as the data it produces. How do you know if people are actually making it to the end of your sequence? How do you know which of those logic branches is performing better? And more importantly, once they finish this workflow, where do they go next? You cannot leave them in a digital vacuum. The health of your business depends on your ability to look at your audience as a whole and understand the long-term life cycle of a subscriber. We have built the engine, but now we need to look at the dashboard and the maintenance. In the next part, we are going to deep dive into the Audience tab and Analytics. We will look at how to read your numbers like a pro, how to clean your list to stay out of the spam folder, and the historical trends of list hygiene that will save you thousands of dollars in the long run. Are you ready to see what is really happening under the hood of your marketing? Let us master the data. To master the data, we have to look past the surface-level vanity metrics that often lead beginners astray. In the world of 2026 digital marketing, seeing a total subscriber count go up feels like a win, but seasoned experts know that a large unengaged list is actually a liability. When you click into the Audience tab in Flodesk, you are looking at the pulse of your business. This is where you see your subscribers, your segments, and your overall list health. To understand why this matters, imagine a tech reviewer in San Francisco named Jason. Jason has spent the last year building a newsletter focused on the latest wearable technology. By mid-2026, his list has grown to 15,000 subscribers. On the surface, Jason looks like a massive success. However, when he sends out a broadcast, only about 1,500 people actually open the email. Jason has a 90% deadweight problem. Historical trends in deliverability have shown that email service providers like Gmail and Outlook are becoming increasingly sophisticated. They do not just look at whether you are a known spammer. They look at how your specific audience interacts with your content. If you consistently send emails to 10,000 people who never open them, the providers begin to assume that your content is low value or unwanted. Consequently, they start routing your emails to the Promotions tab or worse, the spam folder, even for the people who actually want to read your work. This is the hidden danger of the success tax we mentioned earlier. If you aren't careful, your own growth can become the very thing that silences your voice. In this deep dive into the Audience tab, we need to focus on the 3 key metrics that actually determine your potential outcomes: open rate, click-through rate, and deliverability. In 2026, the open rate metric has become somewhat nuanced due to privacy changes like Apple's mail privacy protection, which can sometimes trigger a false open. Therefore, we look at the click-through rate as the ultimate source of truth. If people are clicking links, they are engaged. In Flodesk, when you click on an individual subscriber, you can see their entire history, every email they have opened, every link they have clicked, and every workflow they have completed. This granular data allows you to move from mass broadcasting to precision marketing. Let us look at a step-by-step process for performing a list hygiene audit, which is a non-negotiable task for any professional in the United States today. First, you navigate to your Audience tab and use the filtering tool. You want to filter for subscribers who have not opened an email in the last 6 months. In Flodesk, this is incredibly intuitive. Once you have this segment of unengaged users, you have 2 choices. You can either delete them immediately to protect your sender reputation, or you can run a re-engagement campaign. A case study from a mid-sized digital agency in 2025 showed that by removing the bottom 20% of their inactive list, their overall open rates for the remaining audience jumped by nearly 15% within 30 days. This is because the inbox filters recognized the higher engagement ratio and began prioritizing their emails in the primary inbox. For Jason, the tech reviewer, This meant making the difficult decision to prune his list. He created a segment called Inactive and sent one final, high-value email with a subject line like, "Should I keep sending you these?" He explained that he only wants to take up space in their inbox if they find the content useful. If they didn't click a button to stay on the list, he removed them. Potential outcomes of this strategy include a smaller, but far more potent list that commands higher ad rates from sponsors and results in more consistent sales. Beyond list cleaning, the Audience tab is where you manage segmenting and tagging. We touched on this during the forum's discussion, but here is where the strategy deepens. In 2026, the United States consumer expects a hyper-personalized experience. Imagine if you are a fitness coach and you have subscribers interested in weight loss and others interested in marathon training. If you send marathon tips to the weight loss group, you are wasting their time. In the Audience tab, you can manually move subscribers between segments or use the bulk action tool to organize your data. You should aim to have segments based on 3 things: interest, behavior, and source. The source tells you where they came from, the interest tells you what they want, and the behavior tells you how ready they are to buy. Another critical aspect of the Audience tab is the CSV import feature. Many of you might be migrating from other platforms like MailChimp or ConvertKit. When you bring your data into Flodesk, you have the opportunity to start fresh. Instead of just dumping a giant list into one bucket, you can map your existing tags to Flodesk segments during the upload process. This ensures that your historical data is preserved and your workflows can pick up right where they left off. The step-by-step detail here is to ensure your CSV file is cleaned of any obvious bounce addresses or formatting errors before you upload, as this will prevent any temporary flags on your new account. Now, let us talk about the analytics dashboard. When you look at an individual email's performance, Flodesk gives you a visual breakdown that is far easier to read than a standard spreadsheet. You can see a heat map of where people clicked. This is vital for your design strategy. If you notice that 70% of your clicks are happening on the first image rather than the button at the bottom, it tells you that your audience is visual and impulsive. You should adapt by putting your most important links higher up in the layout. Historical trends show that the top third of an email receives the vast majority of engagement. If you are burying your call to action at the very end of a long-form story, you are likely leaving money on the table. We also have to consider the unsubscribe rate. While it might feel like a personal rejection when someone leaves your list, in reality, a steady unsubscribe rate is a healthy sign of a focused brand. It means you are repelling the people who aren't a good fit, which leaves more room for your true fans. However, if you see a sudden spike in unsubscribes, anything over 1% for a single email, it is a signal to pause and evaluate. Did you change your tone? Did you send too many emails in one week? Did you use a subject line that felt like bait and switch? Data-driven decisions are what separate a viral channel from a stagnant one. By mastering your audience data, you are no longer guessing what your customers want. You are responding to their actual behavior. You are building a list that is lean, mean, and highly profitable. You have the domain authenticated, the designs are beautiful, the workflows are running on autopilot, and your audience data is pristine. You have the foundation of a world-class marketing engine. But there is one final piece of the puzzle that many creators overlook. You have the attention, but how do you actually collect the payment? In the past, you would have to jump through hoops to connect a third-party store or a clunky checkout page to your email list. But what if the transaction could happen as seamlessly as the sign-up? What if your email marketing platform didn't just tell you who clicked, but also who bought, all in one place? This is where we move into the most direct revenue-generating feature of the platform. In the next part, we are going to explore Flodesk checkouts. We will look at how to sell products, services, and digital downloads without ever needing a separate website or a complicated e-commerce integration. Are you ready to turn your subscribers into customers with a single click? Let us talk about the art of the checkout. The art of the checkout is where your digital presence transforms from a conversation into a commerce engine. Historically, the biggest barrier for creative entrepreneurs in the United States has been the technical friction of the sales stack. For years, if you wanted to sell a digital product, a coaching session, or a service, you had to build what many call a Frankenstack. This involved a WordPress site for your content, a separate landing page builder like ClickFunnels for your sales page, a third-party checkout tool like Samcart or Thrivecart, a payment processor like Stripe, and finally, a tool like Zapier to glue it all together so that your email list actually knew a purchase had occurred. In 2026, that complexity is no longer a requirement for entry. Flodesk Checkouts was designed specifically to collapse that entire stack into a single cohesive experience that maintains the same high-end design standards as their email builder. Imagine a graphic designer named Mia based in Atlanta. Mia has spent years creating custom brand identities for local startups, but she realized that she was trading her time for money at a rate that limited her growth. She decided to package her knowledge into a series of premium social media templates for small business owners. Historically, Mia would have spent weeks trying to set up a Shopify store or an e-commerce plugin, only to find that the design of those platforms felt clunky and corporate, clashing with her minimalist aesthetic. When Mia switched to Flodesk checkouts, she was able to build a professional sales page, a secure payment portal, and an automated delivery system in under an hour. The walkthrough for setting up your first checkout begins in the Checkouts tab of your dashboard. When you click Create New, you are presented with a series of templates that are essentially high-conversion sales pages. This is a critical distinction. These are not just order forms. They are full-width, visually stunning pages that allow you to use the same layouts technology we discussed in the email section. You can add sections for your product features, a section for social proof and testimonials, and a section for a personal bio. The potential outcome of using these integrated pages is a reduction in bounce rates because the user never feels like they are being redirected to a suspicious third-party site. In 2026, consumer trust is fragile, and keeping the design consistent from the initial email to the final purchase is a major trust signal. Step 1 in the setup is the product details. Here you will name your product, set your price, and upload your product image. Flodesk allows for both one-time payments and recurring subscriptions. If you are a consultant in New York offering a monthly retainer or a yoga instructor in Los Angeles selling a weekly membership, the recurring payment feature handles the billing logic automatically. You then move to the payment integration. This is powered by Stripe, which is the industry standard for secure online transactions in the United States. If you already have a Stripe account, connecting it to Flodesk is a simple 3-click process. If you do not, Flodesk will guide you through the setup. Historical trends in digital security suggest that using a recognized processor like Stripe significantly increases conversion rates because customers feel confident that their credit card information is being handled by a regulated, high-security entity. Once the payment engine is connected, we move to the checkout page itself. This is where the user enters their information. In this walkthrough, we must emphasize the importance of field optimization. Just like with forms, every additional field you require at checkout can lead to cart abandonment. Flodesk allows you to toggle which information is mandatory. For a digital download, you might only need an email and a name. For a physical product or a service that requires a contract, you might need more. The design of the checkout page remains clean and distraction-free, focusing the user entirely on completing the transaction. A sophisticated feature that most beginners overlook is the upsell. An upsell is an offer made immediately after the initial purchase, but before the final thank you page. Imagine if Mia, after selling her $50 template pack, offers a one-time discount on a $25 mini-course on color theory. Case studies from the 2024 to 2026 period show that businesses utilizing one-click upsells can see an increase in average order value of 20 to 30%. This is because the customer is already in a buying mindset and has their payment information already entered. In Flodesk, adding an upsell is a matter of clicking a plus sign and selecting a secondary product. It is a powerful way to maximize the revenue from every single visitor without increasing your advertising spend. The final stage of the checkout journey is the thank you page. This is more than just a receipt. In our 2026 digital landscape, this is your opportunity to welcome the customer into your inner circle. You can customize this page to include a download link for the digital product, a video message welcoming them to your program, or even a button that encourages them to join your private community. This leads us directly into the post-purchase automation. This is a step-by-step detail you cannot miss. Once someone buys through your checkout, Flodesk can automatically add them to a specific segment and trigger a specific workflow. This ensures that the customer receives their product immediately and begins a nurture sequence that is different from your standard newsletter. We should also address the educational aspect of financial management. When you use Flodesk checkouts, you are operating a digital business which comes with responsibilities. Flodesk provides a basic reporting dashboard where you can see your total revenue, your number of orders, and your top-performing products. However, as an entrepreneur in the United States, you must be aware of sales tax regulations, such as the Nexus laws which vary by state. While Flodesk provides the tools to collect payments, you should consult with a tax professional to ensure you are meeting your local and federal obligations. Understanding your historical sales data will help you plan for investment in your business and manage your cash flow effectively. The beauty of this integrated system is the data loop it creates. Because your checkout is connected to your email list, you can see exactly which of your subscribers are your highest value customers. You can create a segment of VIP buyers and send them exclusive offers or early access to new products. This level of data-driven marketing was previously reserved for large corporations with massive budgets, but now, a solo creator in their home office can execute the same strategy with a few clicks. We have now covered the visual architecture, the lead generation, the automation logic, and the revenue engine. You have a business that can attract, nurture, and convert leads into customers on autopilot. But there is a subtle art to keeping this engine running smoothly over the long term. If you send too many sales emails, you lose your audience. If you send too few, you lose your revenue. How do you find the perfect balance? How do you write the actual words inside these beautiful layouts that compel someone to take action? The technical setup is the skeleton, but the copywriting and the content strategy are the soul of your email marketing. In the next part, we are going to dive deep into the psychology of the inbox. We will look at the exact formulas for subject lines that get opened in 2026, the storytelling techniques that keep people reading to the end, and the historical trends of content that builds true brand loyalty. Are you ready to master the message and turn your emails into a conversation your subscribers actually look forward to? Let us talk about the power of the written word. The power of the written word in 2026 is not about how much you say, but how effectively you can cut through the digital noise. In the United States today, the average professional receives over 120 emails every single day. This means that before your beautiful Flodesk layout even has a chance to load, you have to win the battle of the split second. The psychology of the inbox is the science of understanding what makes a human being stop their scroll, ignore their notifications, and choose to engage with your message. If you do not master this, your technical setup is like a high-performance sports car with no fuel. It looks impressive, but it is not going anywhere. Imagine an entrepreneur named Alex based in Denver. Alex runs a sustainable home goods brand that focuses on eco-friendly kitchenware. In early 2026, Alex noticed a troubling historical trend in his analytics. His open rates were respectable, but his click-through rates were plummeting. He was sending beautiful emails, but people were treated them like art pieces. They looked at them and then walked away. Alex realized he was failing to create a narrative bridge. He was showing the product but not telling the story of why that product belonged in the customer's life. By shifting his content strategy to focus on the psychology of connection, rather than just the mechanics of a sale, Alex saw a potential outcome where his revenue per email sent increased by nearly 50% over a 6-month period. The first psychological gatekeeper is the subject line. In our 2026 walkthrough, we categorize high-performing subject lines into 4 specific formulas: the curiosity gap, the specific statistic, the direct benefit, and the relatable question. The curiosity gap is perhaps the most powerful. It presents a piece of information that is incomplete, forcing the brain to want to close the loop. For example, instead of a subject line that says "my new eco-friendly product," Alex tried "something is changing in my kitchen." This created a mystery that historical data suggests results in a much higher open rate. However, you must be careful to avoid bait-and-switch tactics. In the United States, consumer trust is at an all-time high for brands that are authentic, and at an all-time low for those that use deceptive clickbait. The second formula is the specific statistic. In a world of vague claims, numbers provide a sense of grounded reality. A subject line like "why 92% of plastic is never recycled" is far more compelling than "we need to stop using plastic." It feels like a piece of news rather than a marketing pitch. Third is the direct benefit. This is where you solve a problem immediately in the subject line. How to save 20 hours of meal prep this month is a clear value proposition. Finally, the relatable question, such as "are you tired of your kitchen feeling cluttered?" creates an instant micro-agreement in the mind of the reader. But the subject line does not work alone. In the Flodesk editor, right below the subject line field, you will see the preview text or snippet. This is the most underutilized real estate in email marketing. Historical trends in 2026 show that the combination of a subject line and preview text acts like a headline and subheadline in a newspaper. If your subject line is the hook, the preview text is the sinker. For Alex, if the subject line was "something is changing in my kitchen," the preview text might be "and it has everything to do with how we source our bamboo." Provides just enough context to justify the click. Once the email is opened, we move into the body copy, and this is where the Flodesk layout system truly shines when paired with the right words. The goal of your body copy is to maintain a one-to-one conversational tone. Even if you are sending an email to 50,000 people, it should read as if it was written for one person sitting across from you at a coffee shop. In the United States, the era of the corporate third-person broadcast is dead. People buy from people. Use the first-name personalization tag naturally. Do not just drop it at the top. Consider using it toward the end of the email to re-engage the reader's attention. The structure of a high-converting email follows the Problem Agitation Solution or PAS framework. Let us look at the step-by-step detail of how Alex applied this. First, he identifies a problem, the guilt of using single-use plastics. Next, he agitates that problem by describing the historical data of ocean pollution and how it affects the food chain. Finally, he presents the solution, his new line of reusable bamboo containers. By the time the reader reaches the call to action, they are not just looking at a product, they are looking at a solution to a psychological pain point. We also need to discuss the concept of scannability. In 2026, many of your subscribers will be reading your emails while waiting in line, commuting, or during brief breaks in their workday. This means walls of text are the enemy of conversion. Use the Flodesk text editor to create hierarchy. Use bold text for key points, keep your paragraphs to no more than 3 sentences, and utilize bullet points for features or steps. A case study of a major American lifestyle brand showed that by simply breaking their long-form newsletters into scannable sections with clear subheadings, their average read time increased by 40%. Another psychological trigger we must address is the PS line at the very bottom of the email. Historical trends consistently show that the PS is often the second most read part of an email after the subject line. Many people will scroll to the bottom of an email just to see the signature and any final notes. Use this space to reiterate your main call to action, or to add a secondary low-friction offer. For instance, Alex might use his PS to say, PS. If you are not ready to switch to bamboo yet, check out our free guide on reducing kitchen waste. This keeps the relationship alive even if the sale does not happen today. Furthermore, we must consider the frequency and timing of your messages. In the United States, there is a delicate balance between staying top of mind and becoming an annoyance. While there is no universal perfect time to send an email in 2026, historical data suggests that mid-morning on Tuesdays and Thursdays remains a strong baseline for business-to-consumer brands. However, the real secret is consistency. If you tell your audience you will send a newsletter every Wednesday at 10 a.m., and you actually do it, you are building a psychological habit of engagement. By mastering these elements of copywriting and strategy, you are ensuring that your emails are not just seen but felt. You are building a brand that has a voice, a personality, and a loyal following. You have the technical skills, you have the design aesthetic, and now you have the psychological tools to move people to action. But even the most perfect email can be sabotaged by factors beyond your control. You can write the best copy in the world, but if your email never reaches the inbox, it is all for nothing. There are technical ghosts in the machine that can pull your messages into the void without you ever knowing why. Why do some emails from the same sender land in the primary tab while others go to spam? Why does your domain reputation matter more in 2026 than it did 5 years ago? In the next part, we are going to dive into the technical underworld of deliverability and domain authority. We will look at the specific settings you need to check today to ensure you stay on the good side of the major inbox providers. Are you ready to safeguard your reach? Let us talk about the science of the send. The science of the send is the invisible battleground where your business either thrives or disappears into the digital void. In the landscape of 2026, the gatekeepers of the inbox, Gmail, Outlook, and Yahoo have evolved into highly sophisticated artificial intelligence systems designed to protect users from the overwhelming volume of automated communication. For a beginner, the technical jargon of deliverability can feel like a barrier, but in reality, it is simply a set of rules that verify your identity and the quality of your content. If you ignore these rules, you are essentially trying to enter a high-security building without an identification badge. You might get lucky once or twice, but eventually the security system will flag you and bar your entry permanently. Imagine a digital artist named Marcus based in Brooklyn. Marcus has a growing list of 3,000 collectors and fans who have opted in to receive his weekly studio updates. However, Marcus noticed a frustrating trend in early 2026. His open rates, which used to be at 40%, suddenly dropped to 12%. He had not changed his content, his design was still beautiful, and his audience was still growing. Marcus was a victim of a deliverability crisis. He was sending his professional business emails from a generic personal account ending in gmail.com, and he had never configured his domain authentication. To the receiving servers, Marcus looked like a potential spoofing or phishing threat. By the time he realized there was a problem, nearly 80% of his messages were being diverted straight to the spam folder, before his fans even had a chance to see them. To avoid the fate of Marcus, we must conduct a deep dive into the 3 pillars of authentication: SPF, DKIM, and MARC. These acronyms represent the digital signatures that tell a receiving server that your email is legitimate. SPF, or Sender Policy Framework, is essentially a guest list for your domain. It tells the world which mail servers are authorized to send emails on your behalf. When you use Flodesk, you must update your domain's SPF record to include Flodesk sending servers. DKIM, or Domain Keys Identified Mail, is like a wax seal on an envelope. It provides a cryptographic key that ensures the content of your email has not been tampered with in transit. Finally, DMARC, or Domain-Based Message Authentication, Reporting, and Conformance, provides instructions to the receiving server on what to do if the SPF or DKIM checks fail. Historical trends from 2024 to 2026 show that the major providers have shifted from making these settings optional to making them a strict requirement for anyone sending more than 5,000 emails a day. Even for smaller senders like Marcus, having these records in place significantly increases your sender reputation. In Flodesk, the step-by-step process involves navigating to your domain settings and copying the specific name records provided by the platform into your domain host, such as Bluehost or Namecheap. This is a one-time setup that acts as your digital passport, allowing your emails to move through the internet with a verified identity. But authentication is only half of the equation. We also must look at your sender reputation, which is effectively a credit score for your email behavior. Every time someone marks your email as spam, your score goes down. Every time someone opens your email, clicks a link, or moves your message from the Promotions tab to the primary inbox, your score goes up. In 2026, one of the most powerful engagement signals is the reply. If you can encourage your subscribers to actually reply to your emails, you are signaling to the algorithms that you have a high-value, two-way relationship with your audience. This is why many successful case studies from this year involve creators ending their emails with a simple question like, "What was your biggest takeaway from this?" The potential outcome is a virtuous cycle where high engagement leads to better placement, which leads to even higher engagement. We must also address the danger of the spam trap. There are 2 types of spam traps that can ruin your deliverability: pristine traps and recycled traps. A pristine trap is an email address created by a provider specifically to catch people who are scraping the web for addresses or buying lists. If you send to one of these, you are instantly flagged as a bad actor. A recycled trap is an old email address that was abandoned by a user and eventually taken over by the provider to see who is still sending to it. This is why list hygiene, which we discussed in previous parts, is a technical necessity. If you are sending to addresses that have been inactive for 2 years, you are signaling that you have poor data practices, and your reputation will suffer. Another critical factor in the science of the send is the image-to-text ratio. Because Flodesk is a design-heavy platform, it is tempting to send emails that are essentially one giant, beautiful image. However, historical trends in 2026 show that inbox filters are wary of image-only emails because they cannot read the content inside the image. If a filter cannot tell what you are saying, it is more likely to play it safe and send the email to spam. The solution is to use Flodesk's text blocks and layout features to ensure there is a healthy balance of live text and visual elements. This not only helps with deliverability but also ensures that your message is accessible to those using screen readers or those who have images turned off by default in their email client. Furthermore, we have to consider the unsubscribe process. It may seem counterintuitive, but making it easy for people to leave your list is one of the best ways to stay in the inbox. If a subscriber wants to leave and cannot easily find the unsubscribe link, they will hit the spam button instead. In the eyes of Gmail and Yahoo, a spam complaint is a massive red flag, while an unsubscribe is just a normal part of the email lifecycle. Flodesk automatically includes a clear, compliant unsubscribe link in every footer, and you should never attempt to hide it. In 2026, the United States has also seen stricter enforcement of the requirement for one-click unsubscription, meaning the user should not have to log in or fill out a survey to stop receiving your mail. As we look at the potential outcomes of a properly managed deliverability strategy, the data is clear. Businesses that prioritize their sender reputation see a consistent delivery rate of 99%, while those who ignore it struggle to stay above 80%. That 20% difference represents hundreds or even thousands of lost leads and missed revenue opportunities every single month. For Marcus in Brooklyn, fixing his domain authentication and cleaning his list allowed his open rates to climb back up to 35% within 90 days, proving that the technical backend is just as important as the creative frontend. You have now mastered the visual design, the automation logic, the revenue generation, and the technical deliverability of your email engine. You have the tools and the knowledge to build something that is not only beautiful but also resilient and profitable. However, there is one final level of mastery. You have the engine, but how do you drive it toward true scale? How do you move from being a beginner to becoming a dominant force in your niche? How do you take these individual pieces and weave them into a comprehensive business strategy that compounds over time? In the final part of this deep dive masterclass, we are going to look at the big picture strategy. We will look at how to audit your entire system for growth, how to stay ahead of the marketing trends of late 2026, and the specific mindset shifts required to turn your email list into your most valuable business asset. Are you ready to see the full vision of what is possible? Let us conclude this journey with the blueprint for total list mastery. The blueprint for total list mastery begins with a fundamental shift in how you view your digital space. In the United States landscape of 2026, we are moving away from the era of the mass broadcast and into the era of the curated experience. To conclude this journey, we have to look at how to turn the individual tools we have discussed, the forms, the layouts, the workflows, and the checkouts, into a high-performance ecosystem that compounds in value every single day. This is the stage where you stop being a user of a platform and start being the architect of an asset. Historically, the businesses that survive economic shifts are those that own their distribution. By 2026, the cost of acquiring a new customer through traditional advertising has reached an all-time high, making your email list not just a marketing tool, but your most significant hedge against rising costs. Imagine a ceramicist named Chloe based in Seattle. Chloe has spent the last 9 parts of this masterclass setting up her foundation. She has her brand kit locked in, her welcome sequence is running on autopilot, and she is using Flodesk checkouts to sell her seasonal collections. However, Chloe wants to move from a linear business model, where she makes a pot and sells a pot, to a recurring revenue model. She decides to launch a digital membership called the Clay Circle. This is the moment where strategy meets execution. Chloe doesn't just send one email announcing the launch. She utilizes the full spectrum of the Flodesk toolkit to create a multi-layered campaign that feels less like a sales pitch and more like an exclusive invitation. The first step in Chloe's blueprint is the use of zero-party data. In 2026, privacy regulations and data silos mean you cannot rely on third-party tracking to know what your customers want. You have to ask them. Chloe uses a Flodesk form with a preference center. Instead of just an email field, she includes 3 checkboxes. Are you interested in beginner tutorials, professional glazing techniques, or seasonal sales? By allowing her subscribers to self-segment, she ensures that her potential outcomes for engagement are maximized. When she launches her membership, she sends a tailored sequence to the professional segment that focuses on high-level craft, while the beginner segment receives a sequence focused on the joy of starting a new hobby. This level of precision is why historical trends show that segmented campaigns see a 760% increase in revenue compared to generic blasts. Next, we look at the re-engagement loop. Every list has a natural decay. In our 2026 walkthrough, we recommend a quarterly list audit. Chloe notices that about 20% of her list has not opened an email in 90 days. Instead of ignoring them, she triggers a specific sunset workflow. This is a 2-email sequence. The first email is a high-value gift, perhaps a free digital wallpaper of her latest work, designed to reward them for staying. The second email is a direct question. Should we say goodbye? Case studies of high-growth brands in the US show that by proactively removing unengaged subscribers, you actually increase your sender reputation, ensuring that your emails land in the primary inbox for the people who truly care. This is the maintenance required for list mastery. Now, let us talk about the multi-touch integration. In 2026, your email list does not exist in a vacuum. It is the hub of a wheel that includes your social media, your website, and your physical presence. Chloe uses the full-page form as her primary link in bio on social media. But she goes a step further by using QR codes at her local makers markets in Seattle. When someone scans the code at her booth, they aren't just sent to a website. They are sent to a Flodesk form that offers an immediate event-exclusive discount. This bridges the gap between the physical and digital worlds, allowing Chloe to capture leads in real time. The step-by-step detail here is to ensure that these leads are tagged with a specific segment like in-person event, so she can follow up with a personalized thank you email the very next morning. We must also address the psychology of the launch. For her Clay Circle membership, Chloe uses a waitlist strategy. 2 weeks before the launch, she adds a simple inline form to her newsletters asking people to join the early access list. This creates a sense of anticipation and scarcity. In 2026, the American consumer is highly motivated by exclusive access. When the checkout finally opens, those on the waitlist receive the link 4 hours before the general public. By using the Checkouts upsell feature we discussed in Part 7, Chloe offers a discounted starter kit to everyone who signs up for the membership. This single design choice increases her average order value instantly. As you scale, you must also master the analytics of growth. In the Flodesk Audience tab, Chloe doesn't just look at her total count. She looks at her source data. She realizes that while she gets a lot of signups from TikTok, the subscribers who come from her long-form blog posts have a lifetime value that is 3 times higher. This data tells her where to invest her time and money in 2027. This is the definition of data-driven mastery. You are no longer guessing. You are making informed decisions based on the historical trends of your own audience behavior. Furthermore, we must consider the ethics of the asset. In the United States, trust is the primary currency of the digital economy. List mastery involves respecting the inbox. This means being transparent about how often you will email, providing immense value before ever asking for a sale, and staying compliant with evolving regulations like GDPR and CCPA. A brand that treats its list with respect will see potential outcomes of long-term loyalty that far outweigh any short-term gains from aggressive tactics. The final piece of the blueprint is the legacy mindset. Think about your business 5 years from now. Algorithms will change, social platforms will rise and fall, and design trends will shift. But if you have spent these years building a clean, engaged, and segmented email list, you have a direct line to your customers that no billionaire or board of directors can take away from you. You have built a digital storefront that you own entirely. As we conclude this 10-part deep dive, the step-by-step path forward is clear. You start with your brand kit to establish trust. You build forms to invite people in. You create workflows to nurture them on autopilot. You use layouts to maintain a premium aesthetic. You utilize checkouts to generate revenue. And finally, you use data to refine and scale the entire system. You are now equipped with the same strategies used by the top 1% of digital creators in the United States. But the journey of a master is never truly finished. The digital landscape of 2026 is constantly shifting, and the creators who stay on top are those who are always looking for the next edge. You have the foundation, but how do you optimize for the next level of conversion? How do you use AI-assisted copywriting to make your messages even more personal? How do you scale from your first $1,000 to your first $100,000? The transition from a beginner to a pro is complete, but the path to elite-level performance is just beginning. To help you take that next leap, we have prepared a specialized follow-up that explores the most advanced conversion secrets of the year. Are you ready to see how the most successful brands in the country are using hyperautomation to dominate their niches? Let us move into the advanced mechanics of the Conversion Secrets Masterclass.